Everyone, this is your host BBGamer, and welcome to another one of my videos. So, of course, things have been alright so far, but to be honest, I wanted to make this video in regards to, well, the whole Prismatic Evolutions deal. It's kind of been frustrating for a guy like me that has just been trying to make an honest living and buying these booster packs, cards, or whatever that these scalpers have been hoarding to themselves and reselling them at exuberant prices that people like me have no chance of getting. It really hurts me as a Pokemon fan to even consider staying in the franchise. I like the game, I like the Pokemon, and I like the cards. But this is something that's been really bothering me ever since the Prismatic Evolutions came out last month, and I've been hearing a lot of things like people fighting over these cards and getting all the ETBs and showing off their pulls. I can understand that they need stuff for revenue, but for low-paying mid people like myself, it's frustrating. Because honestly, yeah, I'm a big Evolutions fan, and I can prove it to all of you guys by doing a video like this. Because in essence, I want to try to show you some of my cards that I have with me, and I intend to show you all my love for the game and the cards that I collect. But I'm just trying to get this rant out because I want people to understand that I want to try to get these cards myself. But with all these scalpers taking it all, hoarding it for themselves, the prices of the either ETBs, these small tins, and probably individual booster packs have gone up. And like I said before, it's really frustrating and upsetting to me because I don't get much money due to my living. I'm still living with my mom, because my dad's no longer around, and it's hard. We're still struggling on paying a lot of things, and it hasn't been so easy since last year. And I don't want to make things a lot more depressing, and especially since I'm also still trying to get over my friend not talking to me anymore, but I still support him. I still do, even if he doesn't know it or not. But in regards to that, I want to show you what I mean by my love for the Pokemon stuff that I do. As I've already showed you guys, I may have gotten this, but this is just only the binder. I didn't get any of the cards. It was over at a card shop that they have these things, and I was able to at least get one of these for like 20 bucks. But the thing is that inside this binder, which I'm going to show you individually, I'm a big Evolution fan. And I've been collecting these cards for who knows how long. Like, probably like since 10 years ago. My binder is filled with nothing but Evolutions, and I want to at least show you each and every one that I have here. As you can see, this is another one of the Eevees that I have. These are probably certain ones from like a couple years ago, especially since with the Evolving Skies, from what I remember. Here's another one of my favorites from the Eevees, these specialty artworks. I'm pretty happy with these. But then again, there are some older Evolution cards that I still kept when I was just a wee little kid a long time ago. But here's another one, the Gigantamax Eevee. I still enjoy playing this thing on my Shield game. And let me see. Here we have a GX version compared to the other ones. This is another one of my favorites. I like this kind of Eevee right here. And then there's this, I don't know why in the world they made this into a card, but here's the derpy version of Eevee, of course. But I don't know who designed this card, but props to this one, because who wouldn't want to cuddle up to this little guy? But now we come to the point where some of the older versions of the Eevees that I have, like this one. This one Eevee I remember keeping in a box for a very long time, so I decided to put it in a card sleeve. This was one of the cards that got me into collecting a lot of evolutions, and well, it's been one of my close companions, and ever since then, I've been fully invested in playing any Pokemon game with Eevee in it. And that's kind of like mostly the reason why I enjoy the Pokemon game for what they are. As long as they have evolutions in it, I'm golden, of course. And that's the major reason why I enjoy it. I think this one is one of those promo evolutions that I have right here. I mean, these are pretty old, and I enjoy each and every one of them. As I said, this is me just showing my love for the evolutions, but mostly for Eevee, of course, since, in fact, this is the year of Eevee, of course. And hopefully, we get any good news for Eevee in the upcoming months during this year. And here we have a rocket version of Eevee. I always like any version of evolutions, but Eevee is also a major part of it. So these cards that I'm showing off are kind of like my personal favorites. Whether they are just commons or just like holographics, I like to keep them. And I think this one is kind of like a interesting one, the one from the Pokemon Go, the shiny Eevee. This one came in from a little box with a mat, so I decided to keep this one in. And let's see. Here we have another version of Eevee. I think this one might have been inside one of the McDonald's ones, but this one is also one of my favorites. Pretty nice art design, and I like the holographic on this one. So, I mean, I don't have a very much money on trying to get a better camera, but I just go with the flow with what I got. So even if the video quality is not up to snuff, I just want to do this the old-fashioned way, just like how things were before all this YouTube stuff started off. And here's another Eevee, one of my other favorites, of course. Kind of like how adorable it looks. And then we got another version of Eevee. This was during the time when the COVID hit. But I like this type of Eevee, charging into battle, of course. I kind of am impressed with all these art designs these cards have. I mean, a long time ago, I still used to collect all these cards, but during some years, I kind of strayed off of it. But over time, once the Sword and Shield versions of the art styles of the cards came out, I decided to hop back in. And I mean, these cards are pretty interesting, and so I kind of gotten back into the groove of collecting them, of course. But there are still some times in which I want to try to have my hand in trying to become not try to be a competitive one, but I like to try to test my hand at being in tournaments and such. I mean, I don't want to try to go for the money or whatnot, but the thing is that I enjoy the love of using Pokemon to battle and face other people. Okay, here's another one. Laying on the bench, looking adorable, of course. I still have plenty more of these Eevee cards that I have in this binder, of course. And here we have another adorable artwork of Eevee playing around with Pokeballs with the Voltorb nearby. Hopefully it doesn't get hurt by it, though. And here's another version of an old evolution way back then. Kind of chubby looking, but I kind of like the art design for this. And despite how weak these EVs are in these cards, I like the style of them. Like I said before, even if there are like commons or like full holos or holographic, I want to preserve them. That's what I do. And I'm not trying to like say I want to try to hoard them just for money's sake. I just want to enjoy it because I want to show off my care and enjoyment for the game and the Pokemon in it. I mean, like this one here is another favorite of mine. Full Holo. And then we have this little Eevee here. I mean, I'm trying to do my best and try and show them off, but people could say, "Oh, these might be fake, or these might be rip-offs or something." But even if they are, sure. I mean, I like them. I mean, I like the designs, I like the art style to it, and I like the cards themselves. Each of these are cards that I really hold close to my heart, and like I said, I've been collecting these things for quite a long time, and I made a dedication to becoming an Eevee collector. And yeah, there may be some other cards that I collect that may be different Pokemon, but I decided to keep the EVs all in my binder. And here's another one. This one's the shiny version, of course. Another shiny version. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much these cards would be worth, but I'm just curious because each of these cards holds some type of value, and I can understand people out there might be wanting to try to get their hands on any one of these, but I'm not one to try to ask for money and such. But I like these. These are my favorites, and I intend to keep them that way. Let's see. Here's another one that I got from buying from a certain card store. And another adorable Eevee. And I like the background and how Eevee's like laying down on the ground, trying to be adorable. I know this whole thing might be a little bit long, but I want to try to show you each and every one of my cards per day. So here's another one of the Eevees. Look at it. It's kind of like looking at a cute little flower trying to bud itself during the winter. It's just adorable, and I really did fall in love with Eevee ever since their first games, red, blue, and yellow, of course. And then here's another adorable Eevee. You can see how this full holo right here. And I hear here in the Prismatic Evolutions there are different versions of hollows, especially with the Pokeball and Master Ball hollows. I mean, I want to try to get my hands on them, but it's still frustrating that a lot of people have been trying to get all of the evolutions just to sell at a high price that I can't even dream of getting. But here's another one. I know I'm kind of like repeating myself so many times, but this is how I want to express my love for Eevee and show you that I'm a big evolution fan. I mean, I play a lot of games that include any evolutions in it, that or have a full team of evolutions, and of course, I intend to keep it that way all the way until, well, until I die. Here's a workshop one. This one's a very interesting one. I got this from a friend. As you can see, it's just adorable, and I like the icon with it. And here's another version. This one's kind of like hopping around in a full hollow version, as you can see. Like I said, I don't have a very good camera, but I'm using the laptop camera in order to show these off. And here's another full hollow. Has a glossy sheen to it, but if you can see it, here's that little Eevee. I kind of adore it so much. Got a couple more before ending it. Here's another little Eevee bursting into the plants, and another one of my absolute favorites. And then here's another one surrounded by flowers, of course. I mean, who can't deny that this little Pokemon ended up becoming a secondary mascot to Pikachu? And I think it deserved to be another mascot. And all I can say is I'm pretty happy for this little Pokemon to be the second tier to Pikachu, of course. And here's another one. I really like how cute and adorable this Pokemon is, because it kind of reminds me of, well, like Fennec Foxes or something. And here's one of those E cards. I heard that a lot of people have been wanting to get their hands on cards like these, but I'm glad that I managed to keep my hands on this version of the Eevee. So, and that's basically it for today. That's like all the evolution EVs that I have up to this moment. And probably during tomorrow, I'll show you all my Vaporeon line that I intend to show, and from there I go on to Flareon, Jolteon, and then Espeon, Umbreon, Glaceon, Leafeon, and Sylveon, so forth. I mean, like I said, I collect a lot of these cards, and I'm still trying to find any cards that have the evolutions, whether or not they're like the full arts, normal, normal hollows or whatnot. That goes to show that I'm a person that really cares for these Pokemon, and I really enjoy the cards themselves. Sure, they may have a price to them, but I really just want them because I really love them all. But then again, it's these people that try to hoard all these prismatic evolutions, the ETBs, a lot of other stuff that these prismatic evolutions came out with. They all just buy them in bulk without any limitations or anything. They should have learned the first time this sort of thing happened, and I think the Pokemon Company need to limit stores to how many uh, the products can be sold. They should at least like limit to like 2 of the items per person, and leave the rest for people like me to try to get. And today the tins were supposed to be out. I went over to my local card store and found out that they weren't able to get any because scalpers just took them all. It's just frustrating, and it just upsets me to the point where I slowly starting to not care anymore about trying to at least get one of these Prismatic Evolution stuff. Heck, if I were lucky, I would have bought them even if I stumbled upon them and one day. It's just heartbreaking, and I just want to inform everybody that people like me do want to enjoy the cards and also want to try my hand on playing the cards. I just wish this sort of thing just didn't happen. But on that note, I guess I'll just leave it at that because I don't want the video to be too long. So I appreciate you all looking through this video and hearing me vent out my frustrations on the whole Prismatic Evolutions situation. But it would help me if you like subscribe to my channel, because a lot more content is on the way, because now that I got this new laptop here, I can make videos again. So hooray. Anyway, I thank you all so much for listening, and this is your BB Gamer wishing you a good day. Have a good night.